Once again, we're staying in our metal plate underscore 002.dwg file, and we're going to be taking a look now at how we place our table into our AutoCAD drawing. We created the table style in the previous video. We now need to add the table using that table style. Now, just before we start, we're going to have a little bit of housekeeping. Tables do not use the dim layer override here, like so. So what we're going to do there is we're going to go back to the Home tab on the ribbon. We're going to go to the Layer drop down on the Layers panel and select Text, like so. We're going to put it on the Text layer for now. And then we'll go back to the Annotate tab and we'll make sure here we're using our whole types table style. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. I want to place the table underneath the side view here, but we've got a 500 dimension in the way. So select that dimension, right click, and what we'll do is we'll erase it, clicking on erase on the shortcut menu, and we'll just quickly add a new dimension. Now, the reason I wanted to do this is to show you how dim layer override works. Notice on the quick access toolbar there, text is the current layer. Dim layer override though is set to dimensions. So if I click on the dimension type and go linear, and I'm going to go from this endpoint snap here, left click, to this endpoint snap here, left click, drag that upwards a little bit, left click. Now there's my 500 dimension just in a different place. If I hover over it, you'll see it's on the dimensions layer, using that dim layer override, even though the current layer is set to text. Now zoom in underneath the side view where you removed that dimension and just do a little bit of panning and zooming. Ideally, you want it roughly in the middle under here, our table, so that when we go to the Sections and Elevations Layout tab, it's displayed in that viewport. Now, I'm going to go up to the Table command on the Tables panel, and it'll ask me now Table Style. Whole Types is already preset. That's the current table style. We're starting from an empty table. We're not using a data link. We're not using object data in the drawing. Now, for the life of me, I've never understood why you can turn the preview on and off in the Insert Table dialog box. Surely you always want to see the preview of the table that you're going to place. Anyway, I'm not going to worry. Ours is not to reason why. Autodesk have put it in there for a reason, obviously. Now, insertion behavior, we're going to specify an insertion point. You can specify a window where it squishes your table to fit into that window. We're just going to specify insertion point and use the table style settings. Number of columns is going to be 3, and the column width, we're going to make it 75 millimeters. Data rows, we're going to have 2 because we've only got 2 types of holes, and the row height of each of those is going to be 1 line. We're then going to utilize the traditional setup here, title, header, data. As you can see in the preview, title, header, data. Click on OK, and there's our table. Just line it up underneath the side view about there, and left click once. As soon as you do that, you'll see the multi-line text editor kick in on the ribbon at the top of the screen. So that text editor tab, the blue contextual tab, is the multi-line text editor. All text that you put into an AutoCAD table is multi-line text, or M text. So now we're looking at the title bar there with the flashing cursor. So we're going to put in there whole types, like so. As you can see, very, very quick and easy. I can use the tab key and the arrow keys now to move around the table. Now these are our headers. So we now need the whole description or the whole number. Let's say whole number, whole type number, we'll call it. There we go, whole type NO dot. So that's our header for that particular column. Tab across, and this one is going to be radius. Tab across again, and this one's going to be diameter, like so. If you keep tabbing, just takes you down to the next one. Can you see there? So there's our whole type number. So our whole type number 1 will be there. So we just put a number in. This is all just typing in text. The radius of our whole type 1 will be, I think if I remember rightly, it's going to be 30. So let's put 30 in there like that, which means a diameter of 60. And then the whole type 2. Now notice I've clicked away. Can you see when I click away, it stops editing? Just double click in the cell again and you can edit again like so. So that's a hole type 2, which is our slotted hole, and the radius of that one will be 25, but there won't be a diameter because there's only the arcs on the ends of the slotted holes. So just tab that across, and you might want to put, say, a dash in there instead, and then just click away from the table. Now, that's a great little table, but it's not as descriptive as it could be. And you'll notice where I've put the numbers in, it's right justified everything as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just click and drag over these cells here like that. And when I do that, it allows me now to go into the table cell editor. So it's a bit like the multi-line text editor, but I'm editing table cells. You'll notice that we can go into all the different settings for the cells. Now, alignment is here, and we want middle center. Just middle center them like so. They just look neater that way. And then just hit escape a couple of times, job done. If you want to edit any of the information in the cells, it's just a case of double-clicking in the cell. There's radius. What I might do there is put some parentheses in and just let people know that that's millimeters. And then I'll tab, and the same with diameter there. I'll click in that cell and put millimeters there as well, just so people know that it's millimeters. I'll then click away from the table. Now, hole type number, that doesn't give me a description of the hole. It's got the hole type number, but no real description. So I'll double click in that cell. There's the 1, and then I'll put space, dash, space, and that will be a bolt hole like that. And then I can use the down arrow key, change the data type or change the value. I'm going to change the value like so, because I'm changing the value of the information in there because I'm combining numbers and letters. Use the down arrow key now to go down one, and again it's saying change the value. If you need to do that, just click away, and you might have to change the data type because it's saying the enter value is not a valid data type. Now, the reason it's doing that, do you remember when we set up the table style and we had data in the data cells? Well, it's not data anymore. It's letters and numbers. So we might need to change the data type just to a label. So let's do that again in here, like so. Click in there, space dash space, and this will be the slotted hole. And again, if I click away, change the data type because it's not just numerical data anymore. So now we've got hole type numbers. Number 1 is a bolt hole. Number 2 is a slotted hole. Radius for the bolt hole 30, diameter 60. Radius for the slotted hole is 25. If you zoom out a bit, you can see there, radius 30, diameter 60 for hole type 1, and there's that radius 25 on the slotted hole, which is hole type 2. So what we've done there is we've placed a simple table, and if I go to the sections and elevations layout, can you see it displays nicely underneath and just lets people know what the hole types are and what their radius and diameters are. So a quick and easy table using a really simple table style.